When you don't sleep enough, it's like running your life on a 5% battery charge. Everything drains faster. Your hunger, your cravings, your mood, your grumpiness. Not to mention your energy and your motivation. Now there are 4 scientific reasons this happens, and it happens immediately after your first bad night of sleep. I know I'm guilty about this. Actually last night, you get like 4, maybe 6 hours of sleep, and you think, I'm good, I'll just have some extra coffee today. But here's what you don't realize. The next day, you actually do everything perfect. You go for a walk, you hit your 10,000 steps, you eat perfectly, you track everything. But since you only slept 5 or 6 hours, your body's actually fighting against you at this point. Your hormones are literally wrecked, and your metabolism is slower. All the while, your cravings are screaming. And I know, for me, years ago, I thought it was a willpower issue. It's not. It's really simple. It's a recovery problem. After just that one night of poor sleep, the 5 to 6 hours, rather than 7 to 8 hours, there's 2 critical hormones that are having problems right now. The first is the leptin hormone, and that's your brain signal saying, I am full. The second hormone is ghrelin, and that's the one that tells your body that you're hungry. Studies show that just after one night of poor sleep, leptin drops by 18%. So your body doesn't get that signal saying, hey, you're full. So you're reducing the I'm full hormone, all the while increasing the I need food hormone. There's a terrible weight loss combo. And trust me, this is not in your head. This is a biological, physical thing that is happening to you. So that whole next day, whenever you're tired, you think you have lack of willpower, but 2 of your body's literal superpowers to weight loss is out of whack. And what's interesting, there's even some more research that shows people that sleep 5 to 6 hours a night actually eat 300 to 400 more calories than someone getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. So it's not you failing, it's your hormones out of whack because of the sleep. But it gets worse. When you don't sleep enough, your body is under stress. It thinks it's under stress because it is stressed because it hasn't recovered properly. And when your body's under stress, it naturally spikes your cortisol levels, the body's stress hormone. And cortisol does 2 things that destroy fat loss. The first thing it does is promote fat storage, especially around your belly. This is a natural fight or flight mechanism. Your body's stressed, meaning, oh my gosh, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's start doing the only storage tanks we have, and that's fat, in case something worse happens. It's kind of like when a snowstorm's coming, everybody goes to the grocery store and starts stocking up. That's what your body's doing when it's stressed. And the only thing it's collecting is fat. And the second thing cortisol does is that's what spikes all your cravings. So when you're stress eating all your comfort foods that tend to be high carb, high sugar, that's that cortisol spike. So not only are you storing more fat, you're actually increasing the input by having those cravings that are so strong. So this is why you can take 2 people, they're doing the exact same program, but one's getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep, the other one's getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. One is in literally fat burning mode, the one who sleeps more, the 7 to 8, while the other one is in fat storage mode, and they're trying to fight that. So you can have 2 people doing the same thing and get completely different results. Now as a side note, this is what I preach as far as the 7 fundamentals to weight loss, to guaranteed weight loss. I'm going to put that in the description below where you can go check it out and get your free guide to start today. And now still on the cortisol thing, there are studies that show that chronically underslept people have 50% more cortisol than someone who is not. Now that's significant when you're trying to lose weight. And what's terrible is it creates a vicious cycle because cortisol also makes it hard to fall asleep. So now you're chronically tired, you wake up the next day, you have a spike in your cravings because of the cortisol level, and it's harder to get back to sleep, and it just keeps going and going and going. However, it gets even worse, unfortunately, because when you don't sleep enough, your insulin sensitivity can drop almost by 30%. Now what does that mean in English? It means your body can't process carbs and sugar as efficiently. So instead of burning them to use for energy, they're storing them for fat. But it gets even worse. Sleep is when your muscles actually recover and grow. So if you're not sleeping properly, your muscles can't recover. And if your muscles aren't recovering or growing, that's a huge metabolic boost whenever it comes to energy expenditure, just because it takes about 6 calories per pound of muscle just to maintain it, where it takes anywhere from 0 to 2 calories to maintain a pound of fat. So if you're doing everything right and your sleep quality is not great, those are some of the reasons why. However, there's still one more. And this one feels more personal just because it has an effect on your willpower. You cannot make good decisions when you are not well slept. It's not a character flaw, it's just neuroscience. There's actual studies using brain scans that show after poor sleep, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision making and impulse control and long-term thinking, becomes less active. Meanwhile, your amygdala, the emotional reactive part of your brain, becomes more active. Translation, you're operating on emotional cues rather than logical reasoning. So when you're tired, you're like, oh, I'll skip this workout. You can justify it easier because your logical brain isn't working as effectively. And when those donuts are in the office, you're like, oh, I don't want to eat those, but they do sound pretty good. I think I can go ahead and do it. Once again, your emotional triggers are much more elevated and your logical reasoning is out the window. So even though you planned it as far as you're going to eat this every day, it just kind of goes to the side as your little emotional brain takes off. So don't think of this as being weak. You're literally running on a brain that only has half of its battery life. Now, this is why it's critical to get your sleep whenever you're trying to lose weight. But hold on, you're probably like, holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. How the hell do I fix this? Well, I'm glad you asked. I just want to share with you some things that I do because I know a lot of things that you read on the internet. It's like, don't look at your phone 2 hours before bed. Who's doing that? No one's doing that. Stop drinking caffeine after 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. Yeah, definitely stop drinking it after 10 p.m. But here's some things that I do. Now, it's not guaranteed. Like I said, I only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, but we have some family things going on and, stuff happens. But here's some things that help me. I turn the thermostat down to 68 degrees. Having a cool bedroom helps people fall asleep. My wife and I have also put in blackout curtains, so now it's like pitch black in our bedroom at night. When it comes to my phone, I simply turn down the settings so it's not so bright. And if you can, switch the screen to where it's a black screen. You don't want that white, bright light looking at that right before bed. Now, one thing we've done with our kids all sleep in their own rooms. I know some parents that co-sleep, and if that's what you do, that's fine and great, but that could be hurting your sleep when other people are moving and waking you up. Another thing I like to do is drink some sleepy time tea. That's not every night, but it helps just kind of soothe you right before bed. And one critical thing that I have done, especially here within the last year, do not get on Facebook. Do not read any news, because once you start reading the news, it tends to spike your cortisol levels. I know it frustrates me sometimes, so just don't even get on it. And for me, when it comes to caffeine, really, I try to stop by 5 p.m. I know, so my wife, she's a nurse practitioner. She's gone to like these sleep study conferences. There's this specific sleep study doctor that says if you drink caffeine in the morning, it could still wreck your sleep even 48 hours later because of its half-life. Now, I think that's crazy. I'm not cutting out coffee or caffeine. You just need to know how your body reacts to it. And once again, sleep is just one fundamental of losing weight. There's 7 that I like to talk about. If you want to learn all 7, you can check out that video here. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.